Alright. Showing up again. Here we go. Tarzan's training number 8. Let's keep the momentum rolling. Let's keep working on the fundamental ways to build strength. This exercise is a creative way of doing toes to bar. This is like toes to stick. The stick is my pull-up bar at the moment here in the jungle. But use whatever you got you can hang from and try to strongly bring your toes towards the stick of the bar or whatever you got. Then I shift one hand into a bicep grip, inward facing grip, and one hand outward facing grip. I make 3 strong pull-ups. I switch my grip again. So I'm hanging from one arm just for a brief moment. And then we'll go back into those toes to bar. Let's just call them toes to stick. So not a lot of momentum going on. Really try to bring the hips up as well as you navigate the toes towards the stick. And strong. Switch the other hand around. Just a brief moment hanging from one arm. It depends on how slippery your bar is. If you got any magnesium, of course you can use this. I don't have the luxury at the moment. And then a release. Now any weight you have, we're making a nice combination of different exercises to gain strength, build strength on different parts of the body. So here I'll make some shoulder presses. Single arm. You can do this with kettlebells, dumbbell, or whatever you have laying around. For me, this is a piece of wood in the moment. And try to make somewhere between 10 to 15 reps, just for the sake of more of an endurance building here. I make for this video, I make 11 reps, then I switch arms around. Especially when you're doing single-handed things, really try to stay stable. Don't shift or corkscrew kind of the core too much. Try to compensate. Try to stay strong and stable in that midline. A little bent in the knees maybe. Squeeze the butt. Protect the lower back. And just press that weight up in a nice and controlled manner. And this one is also a little emphasis on the balance. It's kind of a big weight. Put that puppy down. Right, then I have the same weight, the piece of wood that I'm using for my back squats as well. Today we'll be focusing more on single leg action in the way of doing lunges. So I clean this weight to one shoulder. Now you can do this with a front rack precision barbell, or also holding a kettlebell close to your chest. And then step out one leg at a time and drive the weight, drive yourself back to center point. So alternating lunges there and drive back. So really try to press out of that front leg, bringing yourself back to that stable standing position. And also here you have to really focus on not shifting your core too much. Really brace to stay stable, engaged. Going for, I believe, 22 reps here, so that means 11 reps per leg. It gets quite intense, even with a lighter weight. Depending on how much exercise training experience you have and how well you know your weights, you can play with a weight that's really manageable for you right now. Or if you know kind of what you got, then work with a weight that's more of a challenge to make those 22 reps happen. we're going into a wall walk, or I'm walking up against the post here, basically, to put some attention to the handstand. Really walk close against the wall, and then walk back down into somewhat of a high plank, high prone position with your feet against that post. So try to bring your hips in line with the shoulders, and then walk yourself back up to that when you're with your nose almost touching the wall or the post. Whatever you got, make sure you know how to bail out if you need to. If you go too far, or just keep it safe somewhat. Don't go up too far. Try to bring those hips in line with the shoulders. And that plank against the wall is quite of an intense core and shoulder exercise for sure. Try to stay stable. Now you can do this once. I do this 3 times in a row. Do whatever is manageable for you in this moment. Last one. Bring it back to the ground. Nice and strong there. Now, just for the dynamic rest, find something that resembles some sort of sword action, and shielding, covering, and defending your pose. And it's still a nice little shoulder activator, keeping the blood flowing. It's not heavy, but it's a nice activation. It also really helps if you're in an area like I am, where there are a lot of mosquitoes. You kind of fend off the mosquitoes, which is really a beneficial thing. Try to get a little bit into that warrior pose. And we're also training to be able to defend ourselves if necessary. I hope not, but you never know. So implement maybe those kind of things into your training regime. And you see me playing with sticks and spinning with staff as well. And here I have a stick that's kind of like a sword. I found it here in Costa Rica a couple of years ago. It goes with me wherever I go. And another part of that same stick basically is the one that I use to do this pull-up / toe to stick. So here we go again, round 2. Make 6 strong toes to bar, toes to stick. Whatever you got. So really try to lift and rotate in your shoulders, and rotating those hips even above your shoulder line. If you got it. Now one hand comes off, one hand facing towards you, and make those 3 strong pull-ups. Shifting the hand back and back into those 6 toes to bar. Nice and strong. Really good to train the core here. Might be hard in the beginning to rotate those hips up, but that's fine, do whatever you got. Right now, I'm doing 6 repetitions. That depends on how good you are at hanging, how strong you are there as well. Try to make it work, try to make it happen, and 3 more strong pull-ups. And slowly back to the ground. Now adapt wherever needed. So if you need to do more or less reps to give you a nice sensation in this training, do so. We're all in a different place in our journey. That's good. Right, here we go. Somewhere between 10, 12, 15 reps. Make 11 here. I just like the number 11. Just gives me one more than 10, Sometimes do a little more, but for this one right now, 11 feels good. Switch hands. Now in combination with those wall walks, press becomes quite interesting at some point. The shoulders definitely get a good, nice burn here. Nice endurance training. Protect the lower back, don't be slacking, stay bracing, core braced, stay strong. That weight back, we go to the heavier weight for those lunges, alternating lunges. I clean it up to the other side right now, carrying it on the other shoulder. Balanced. It's quite an interesting piece of wood, it's not perfectly balanced, which makes your body work and challenged in a different way. So step out one leg, drive back, really press yourself back using that front leg. You can also keep walking with the weight basically, but it's a different kind of activation. And here you really have to drive yourself back using that front leg, strong and stable. Press back. 22 reps I'm making, but anywhere between 20, I would say 20 and 30 reps is good. It's working on that endurance a little bit more than max strength. Definitely gives a nice burn for the butt in the upper thighs. Stay stable, stay strong in the core, bring the weight back, nice and easy. Perfect. Back to the wall. Last set, those wall walks. Now it's okay if you wiggle the butt a little bit, try to control that, not too much. Try to stay stable in the core, walking forward, sliding your feet or walking your feet depending on what kind of wall or post you're using. Find that line, horizontal line, and walk it back up. Now make sure you don't collapse in your arms, so keep it somewhat safe. Challenge yourself. Stay within your limits, especially when you're doing these handstand walks, exercises where you're challenging your balance as well. Last one, nose to wall, nose to post. Walk it out, strong, stable. Press the weight forward, see where you can go. And release. So a moment to catch your breath. Center. Sword fighting action. Nice to just play around sometimes, we can take it all very serious, which it is still serious, Start to get better at these things and at some point implement the kicks and dynamic ways of moving. But it's also good to keep that playfulness, that inner child alive and use that. Definitely when you have you're using a heavier kind of wood or stick, it's definitely a nice blood flow exercise for the shoulders. Dynamic way of movement there. Be creative, play with it. Enough of that. Back to your mat. Now choose how many rounds you like to do. I did a total of 4 rounds here in this morning, but for the purpose of the video, I recorded 2 to give you an idea, give you some inspiration to work on different elements, different ways of building strength. So we're underway here to, depending on where you are, becoming more of the warrior that's inside of us, unleashing that inner animal as well, training strength, stamina, endurance, headstands, inverted balance, handstands, core, stability, the legs in different ways, different exercises. It shows that you don't necessarily need a gym or a fancy place to be able to train yourself and to keep progressing. And the physical training is a really beautiful base, making sure we keep progressing on a physical plane and also on a spiritual and mental plane. It's good to challenge ourselves. Also to get out of sometimes out of a lazy way of being, maybe not being motivated or excited about things, and then training, giving that physical impulse is one of the best things to move stagnant energy, to get moving again in many ways, many aspects of life as well. Be grateful for where you are, who you are, what you're doing, showing up for yourself, showing up for each other. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I hope it got you inspired in one way or another, and I'll see you next time. Adios.